Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and as we await the next expansion announcement, which is coming next Tuesday, check out this video. I'm pointing over here. Check out this video. We put that out yesterday just for the quick update if you're not aware of it. I wanted to talk about cards that I can't believe went the entire rotation without being nerfed. It's like actually insane that these cards were never nerfed. A lot of them were complained about. A lot of them were meta dominant players the entire run. And I just thought it would be fun to kind of be like, really? These didn't get nerfed? And maybe some of these I'll agree with. I'll give my reasoning and make sure you put in the comments below which cards you can't believe didn't get nerfed the entire year. And well, let's get into the list. And we're going to start off with a rogue spell that actually did get nerfed. This got nerfed. I just can't believe it did get nerfed again because it's still completely broken, and that's Secret Passage. 1 mana rogue spell. Replace your hand with 4 cards from your deck. Swap back next turn. Pretty much 1 mana draw 4 when you build your deck to just be a bunch of cheap stuff to spam out. It lets you get whatever reach you need. It gets your swine tusk, whatever weapon you need, whatever. It was just, it's a broken card. It's ridiculous. It's in every rogue deck that isn't Gen even rogue in wild. It's just broken. And it used to draw 5. Yes, this card used to add 5 cards to your hand, and I just can't believe it stayed as is the entire run. Just a ridiculous card that was a meta warping, meta dominant pretty much its entire run, except for like maybe the last little bit. Other than that, Secret Passage absolutely busted. You know, I honestly can't believe it didn't get nerfed again, and I'm very curious to see if they go absolutely mental and I'll revert this one when it goes to WoW. Let's hope not, unless you're a rogue main, then you probably want to see that happen. Next we have Palm Reading. The pre-spell 3 mana discounts all spells in your hand by 1. You also discover a spell. This is 3 mana Thaurissan for spells. It's always been absolutely nuts in Priest. They've even talked about it when they've made other mana cheat cards since, that Palm Reading was basically a mistake to catch all the cards, yet it never got adjusted. Even when Priest was dominant in the Barons, it was Apotheosis, it was Renew that got nerfed, and then eventually reverted, Renew that being that is. And yeah, Palm Reading dodged it the entire time, and Priest hasn't been particularly great the last 2 expansions, so maybe that's the reason why, but I just thought this card was disgusting. And even in WoW, they made Big Priest playable again for quite a while, and that alone, should that not be nerf worthy right there? It makes Big Priest playable. That's disgusting and horrible. Next we have Animated Broomstick, the 1 mana neutral minion that has Battle Cry, give your other minions rush. And for a while, for a very long while, this card was just like, everyone figured we get nerfed. We're talking about like, we'll give 1 minion rush or like adjacent minion rush. It's gonna get nerfed, right? And it just never did, because secretly it got nerfed with the release of expansions like United and Stormwind, where no longer board mattered, so why would you give anything rush? And honestly, Broomstick has barely been meta this entire expansion year, because the board stopped mattering. And this only really saw prominent play in Wild in particular, with 0 mana giants and all of that. So Animated Broomstick, although it didn't get nerfed, it kind of got nerfed by, yeah, the board basically not mattering anymore. And it's kind of crazy. This card was so busted for quite some time, and then like that became irrelevant, and yeah, it never got nerfed. But I'm surprised. I thought at some point, we all thought it was going to get nerfed, along with like Penflinger, which did get nerfed, but I think pretty much all of us assumed it was going to happen at some point. Next, we have Cutting Class, the dual class Rogue and Warrior spell. 5 mana, draw 2 cards, and it costs 1 less for every attack on your weapon. This effectively was 0 mana, draw 2 for Weapon Rogue as early as like turns like 3, 4, 5, or Kingsbane Rogue in Wild, or Bomb Warrior in Standard when that was a thing. And I thought we learned from Refreshing Springwater that 0 mana, draw 2 was not particularly healthy for the game, but I guess it didn't gain you mana. Therefore, it never got nerfed, but it was such a problematic card, in my opinion, in Weapon Rogue, in those Weapon Rogue variants, that I just thought they would make it like not cost less than 1, or bump it up that you'd have to get more attack to make it 0, because it just seemed ridiculously cheap. And I'm of the mindset that 0 mana draw is unhealthy for the game. I don't know why I feel that way. It seems like it's a problem, but yeah, this card never got hit, and kind of surprised me. It never came up a lot in discussion, but it was one of those cards I was always looking out for to get hit, and it never did. But can't say I'm super surprised it didn't get nerfed, because I was one of the main ones bitching about it, but still. I'm gonna throw that out there. Next, we have basically any Libra card. Libra Paladin, outside of its first expansion, where it got buffed. Aldor Tenant in particular got buffed from 2 mana 2/3 to a 1 mana 1/3, and Libra Justice used to cost 6 mana, I believe. Yeah, no Libra ever got nerfed, and Libra Paladin, it's been like a tier 1, tier 2 deck almost its entire run, but it never felt super unfair. It never felt meta dominating. But at some point, when something's that good for that long, you think something will get nerfed at some point, but no Libra card ever got nerfed, and I can't tell you how many comments I would get when I would make a nerf suggestion video and not mention a Libra card. Like, how can you not mention Libra Paladin? It's all over the place. It's disgustingly good and obnoxious, and it's obnoxious, I'll give you that, but never dominant, never oppressive enough that it got nerfed. But at some point you thought maybe one of them would, but nope, not one single Libra card got nerfed, and yeah, 2 actually got buffed throughout its run. Next we have 3 Druid cards, because Druid has some pretty absurd stuff, and I'm not even mentioning Glowfly Swarm, which you could argue is absolutely disgusting and broken on its own, where you just play a bunch of spells in Glowfly, but I'm not even going to mention that one because they want Spell Druid to have their win condition, and I think is as unfair as it could be. It's probably one of the more fair things. But first we'll go with Overgrowth, the one that I'm not surprised the most, I guess. Like, it's not the biggest surprise. 4 mana, gain 2 empty mana crystals. It makes Nourish feel really sad, but Nourish had the flexibility of drawing 3 cards, but Nourish used to cost 5. Overgrowth was 1 mana less than unnerfed Nourish and gave you those mana crystals, lets you hit that unnerfed Guardian Animals, lets you hit the Onyxia of Scales, lets you do a lot of broken stuff, and yeah, just really good ramp card. But what's wrong with a really good ramp card, right? Well, you know, Guff came out, and well, we know that's been kind of dominant in Kazakhstan. Oh boy, these might relate to not the next one, but the one after that. And the next one is Arbor Up. Arbor Up, 5 mana, give your minions +2/+1, summon 2/2 treants, and well, this board just, this thing kills you. This thing kills you. If there's literally like 1 or 2 minions, this card is just broken on the board. It doesn't even need a full board, just 1 or 2. It's disgusting. And even by itself, it's an okay card. You pair it with Solar Eclipse, it was disgusting. And I always thought Arbor Up at some point would go to 6. I thought it was a natural, you go Glowfly and Arbor Up, the curve makes sense, but never happened. In Arbor Up, just an incredible finisher for a pretty good price. And at the end of the day, am I upset it never got nerfed? Not really, I don't think. In the grand scheme of things, more maybe a Solar Eclipse at the end of the day was probably a bit more problematic, but overall, I thought at some point Arbor Up would probably get hit at 6, and I know I pitched it a couple of times to say the least. And the last Druid card, and by the way, the last 2 cards here are both 0 mana. What a surprise on that one. We have Lightning Bloom. You gain 2 mana crystals this turn, and you overload 2. It's pre-nerf Innervate. It's enabled too many broken things to talk about, and I mean, it got Kael'thas nerfed. It's made Kazakhstan ridiculous. It's made Guff come out on turns 2 and 3. Overgrowth come out on turns 2 and 3 or 1. Just an absolutely broken card. It's also in Shaman, and it does some pretty gross stuff there too, especially with like Wildpaw Cavern on turns 1 or 2, or create an OTK with Bolner and Yashiraj. It turns out that pre-nerf Innervate was a pretty broken card. It got nerfed for a reason, and giving it Overload, well, that only just helps progress your Shaman quest. So yeah, Lightning Bloom, just ridiculous. I thought at some point maybe you would get to refresh your mana crystals rather than gain mana crystals, so you can't have those ridiculous turns, but no, this was introduced in Scholomance Academy and stayed intact the entire way. And I'm sorry, I think this card was a mistake. I'm going to stick to it. Pre-nerf Innervate is one of my most hated cards of all time, and the fact they remade it just boggles my mind, and it definitely has led to some ridiculous degeneracy for the last like year and a half, and I don't think I'm okay with it. I'm still not really thrilled with that decision whatsoever. And the last card, I cannot believe did not get nerfed its entire run. Another 0 mana spell. It's also dual class. It's Raise Dead. 0 mana, deal 3 damage to your hero. Add 2 minions to your hand that die this game. Get 0 mana Flesh Giants, get another Zephyrus, get another Reno, get whatever the hell you want. You get to progress your Demon Seed, you get to cheat out Flesh Giants, you get to do just broken stuff. 0 mana, draw 2 with upside in its self-damaging synergies. Just a ridiculously broken card that, how did this stay 0 mana? its entire run. I can't honestly believe that this card stayed 0 mana, draw 2, gain insane value, do ridiculous things. Hell, it even has synergies with Zarella. You damage yourself, you heal, and then you clear the board. That's broken. But regardless, I can't believe Raise Dead survived the entire run. That is crazy to me, but it did, and it was problematic all over the place, whether it's Dark Lair Warlock, Demon Seed Warlock, well, Warlock in particular, just a disgustingly good card. Priest generating it off of, like, you know, Scorpids or Palm Readings, just absurd. And it never got nerfed, and it will be in Wild at 0 probably until the end of time, and that is absolutely mind-blowing. So let me know in the comments below, again, what you agree with, disagree with, what cards you can't believe didn't get nerfed, and, well, let's wait for that expansion announcement. It's coming pretty soon. We're getting pretty psyched, and we'll have more stuff to talk about in the meantime. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.